Hey guys, this is Kenny at learnhowtoprosper.com, and you can learn more about this tech career hub by going to jobs.learnhowtoprosper.com. I think you'll love it. And, I've spent 25, 30 years now in the tech world. And one of the things I want to say is how fast it goes. Guys, I cannot tell you. You know, just to, just to kind of, I guess, bring this closer to home here, in my role, and this has often been the case in operations, you're streamlining certain processes. So throughout my career, often I've absorbed other teams and then using automation and integration, I've been asked to streamline teams and then lay people off. And I probably over my career probably laid off with somewhere around 200, 250 people. And it's always sobering, immensely sobering in a couple of ways. But the one, there's a couple of patterns that I've recognized. And those who typically fall in the layoff bucket are those who have become probably a bit static in their skill set. And in today's world, you pretty much have to be reinventing yourself about every 18 months to 36 months at the longest, 24 months. I think that, and when I say reinventing yourself, I mean you are adding a new skill set. And some of those skill sets could be networking, it could be actual technical abilities, it could be just broadening your domain expertise. It might be adding new domains and those types of things. And we live in a time now where things move fast, really fast. And if you're not using tools that are available to, whether it's AI or other types of integrations and things that can allow you to move faster, you're going to get stuck. And I was just thinking about that today. And it's one of the reasons why I built this hub is I just feel passionate about continuously working on your skill sets. And so, for example, I built this entire website and everything around it, and I've been working on this podcast, just really to expand my ability to communicate in a video form, my ability to express ideas, to get more comfortable with myself on video. I don't know if it's at first it can feel very awkward, and you just have to, the only way to overcome that is by continuously doing it. But here in this chapter 5, we're talking about your first year. And this is the first year in making a transition from whatever your current path is to what you want your future path to be. And it doesn't really matter how old you are. I remember Dan Miller, one of my mentors, I love that guy. He always said that, do whatever you want for the first 50, 60 years of your life, because you're going to make your biggest contributions, from your 55 on. And I've really come to appreciate that. I remember feeling a little insulted by that when I first heard it. I was in my 20s and 30s, and I'm like, well, my whole life will be over by then. But what I recognize now, looking back, is that those years were fundamental and foundational, but there's so much of what I was doing was raising my family, making sure that they had what they needed, building out kind of the fundamental structure necessary to support a family. And now, having walked that journey, I can see the importance of continuously growing, pushing myself. And so that's why I did this. And we'll see. I mean, it's not like I need an outcome from this. I'm really just trying to learn how to create value and provide that to the marketplace. And that's why I'm doing this. And so I actually have a course that I've created. And well, I'm actually in the process of creating it. And so I don't know who and when you'll watch this video, but if there will be a link in the description of this video that right at the top. And if it's not there, don't worry. It's probably going to show up. Or you can just go to learnhowtoprosper.com and you can navigate your way through the different value streams that I'm providing. I really focus on health, wealth, relationships, and faith. Those are kind of the key pillars that I focus on. But so this is really your first year in making a transition. So building the foundation. So for example, begin the Google IT Support Professional Certificate on Coursera. I think that would be great. I think there might be a link to that. Some of these, there's several links here below for under the resources that you can go and it will help you. There it is, the Google IT Support Certificate on Coursera. And because it's just going to give you a foundational understanding of the IT environment. And then, so that will be your first month, and you're going to say you can see things here like create a LinkedIn profile or update your profile, download VirtualBox and install your first Ubuntu Linux virtual machine. That would be really cool. That's something I want to do as well because I want to build out my own AI LLM environment using OpenClaw. So that's something that I'll be doing, and I'll share it out here as well. And then in the second month, spend time in your Windows and Linux virtual machines. So now you're going to learn about these different environments. You learn a ton. A virtual machine is where you can install multiple operating systems on one set of hardware, like one server or one desktop or laptop for that matter. It's really cool. Highly recommend it. I've learned a ton. I spent like a year and a half in a lab environment, and I learned so much about hardware and software and networking, and it was just so valuable. I've used it ever since then. And then in month 3, you can start applying for, in this case, different support type roles, support specialists. I'm going to tell you right now that starting in support is such a phenomenal foundation. You learn how to deal with people. You learn how to work with people. You learn how to troubleshoot and solve problems. You learn how to create a process. It just gives you a breadth of understanding across a lot of different environments. It's going to be really great. And then months 6 to 8, land the job, entry-level help desk. If you're going to start there, maybe you're further on and you have more life experience, you could command a higher salary. But in that case, you might be moving and looking to move more quickly into a management role if you've got that type of life experience. But still, think of it in terms of even if you're just getting your foot in the door. Now, when you get to the month 7 to 9, study for your next certificate, and that could be CompTIA, Security Plus. You can connect with other senior engineers. I think you should be building apps. I'm just going to tell you that flat out. I do have another course that's called the No Code Architect, and it's just amazing. I've built a number of apps. And look, I never took a single computer science class. I've taken a lot of other certificates and things to help me along the way. But I've learned more from doing and setting up some kind of environment where people use it and depend upon it is going to be super valuable. And then by the time you get to months 12 to 10, you can have a clearer picture of what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, and start tailoring your studies toward your, whatever your chosen path is. Maybe it'll be cloud infrastructure or, cloud architect, those types of things. I still think that being in an ops role is amazing. I think that you're in the crosshairs a lot of times, meaning you're the one that's launching new programs, and you know how it is when you're the one that is breaking new ground, creating new systems. Everyone becomes a critic. It's just amazing. My whole career, everyone's a critic. You're the one putting reports out there. Oh, did you know that this piece of data was slightly wrong? I'm like, yeah, there's going to be things that are wrong. Well, it's all garbage then. It's all wrong. Or one thing's wrong, it's all wrong. I'm like, well, that isn't the way I look at it. I build things that are minimum viable product. You build out sort of a foundation that you can build on, and just don't go for it. I just learned. I just would always remember. Look, it's easy to be a critic. Anyone can be a critic, but if you're a problem solver and you're identifying issues and you're providing proposals and solutions, and that's what I talk about in my. It's called the Intrapreneur Playbook. So it's just my style is very conversational. I'm going to share a lot of stories, a lot of examples. I'm going to have a lot of tools you can use that are very accessible. I'm going to meet you where you are. So I think you'll like it. But with that, I'm probably going to sign off here. Invite you to come out here and check out. This is chapter 5. You can and especially look at the resources. Click your way through these. For example, you can go out to VirtualBox, download that. You're going to learn a ton from that. ChatGPT, the Network Chuck, YouTube, the best free networking education. That would be fantastic. Professor Messer, CompTIA courses, free. CompTIA Network Plus certification. And all of these. So just come check them out. I think SQL is amazing. You should at least understand it. And then you can just lean on AI to build it for you. And it's just, the people on my team never write SQL anymore. They just, they use AI, or the tools themselves have AI embedded in them. So with that, I hope this was helpful. I hope you have a fantastic, wonderful, stupendous day or evening. And watch for my next installment coming up probably tomorrow or soon thereafter. And I do appreciate your comments. If there are things I could do to make this more useful, I know, I'm just barely getting started, but I do have a lot of experience in these fields, and so I've got a lot of ideas and stories and examples and things that I can share. I'd just love to get your feedback on that. With that, I'm going to sign off. You have a great one. Bye-bye.